What if your dreams could tell you exactly who you're meant to be? Today, we dive into powerful dream symbols, phones lost at sea, paintings that come alive, and spiritual signs that point to your destiny. Welcome to the Dream Interpretation Podcast with Michael and Sandy.
Hello, welcome everybody. So excited you are here for another week of the Adventures of Dreams. Are you excited to see what we're going to cover? I am too. We'll see where we go.
You didn't even have to answer that. We got a lot of people writing in about your massive welcome last week, so that's hilarious. You want to bring up something, Sandy?
I do. I'm so excited. Our channeling class is going to start on August 3rd. And so you better get joining us because it is going to be a fun class. Everybody that takes that class learns to channel. Yeah. Call me. Actually book me on our system and you'll see us on the website and Michael will give you all the details so you can join us because it will be fun. Right, Michael?
Absolutely. dream-analysis.com/channel and you can get all the details about our channeling course. But of course, you might have questions, so we want to help you with that. There are two things that you can learn in this life that you're going to use forever. One is dream interpretation because you're going to dream for the whole rest of your life. And do you know what they mean? Well, you listen to this show, so hopefully you get a good insight into what your dreams are about, but you can always get better. And the other one is learn how to channel, because then you can ask the spirit world, why am I here? Why am I having this issue? What do I need to do about it? Is there something I can do about this issue at all? Is it a karmic situation? Do I have to put up with it? All of that is given to you by the spirit world because this is a healing school. The earth is a healing school. We come here to heal. That's why we all have different lives and different challenges. Everybody has a challenge. No matter what way you skin it, everybody has a challenge in their life. And when you can channel and interpret dreams, you can get a head start on what your challenges are. And you can deal with them all, get to the end of that set and go, now I can move into other areas of my life because I've dealt with all the difficult stuff. That actually happens. But we don't tend to wander into there. We have to do it with purpose. So learn to channel and learn to interpret your dreams. It's going to be terrific. And if you do our channeling course, you can always do our dream course later on. dream-analysis.com/channel will get you onto our channeling course for all the details. We start on Sunday. Sandy.
I'm excited. We've got some fabulous dreams, but you never did the intro, and I love the intro because it tells people what we do. Go ahead.
So this is another half hour of us eavesdropping on the very personal communication between the spirit world and your dreams. By the way, did you know that personal communication is going to change sometime, I think between now and the next 3 months? The dream language is going to change. It's getting a major update. It's going to be much simpler to understand. Anything you've ever learned on this show still holds, but you're going to be able to slice it and dice it and make much more sense of it in an easier way. We're really looking forward to that. We have the details on a lot of it, but a lot of it's still coming. So yeah, all to come. Anyway, that personal communication, we are experts at that. We understand that. And we can tell you why you're having a dream, what it is you're meant to be doing in your life at this moment in time from looking at that dream. And then that's it. How do you send us a dream? You go to dream-analysis.com/podcast or email radioshow@dream-analysis.com. And we have the lovely Nicole answering everybody who sends dreams into this show. Happy, Sandy?
Yes. All righty. I'm ready to dive in. We got some fun looking dreams. Hopefully they're fun. Sometimes you ruin them, Michael. But you know what? It's always good to know the truth. So let's dive in. The first one is Finding Phone, and it's from Angie. I'm in the ocean talking on my phone when a wave comes over me and knocks my phone out of my hand and it sinks into the ocean. Oh, bummer. I'm telling some people this, including my mother-in-law. She says she can help me get my phone back. She's taking me to the processing center. It's where everything that falls into the ocean goes, the edge of the ocean that meets land. Woohoo, great! I'm wondering if my documents will make it. She reads my mind and says, yes, the soap factory will take care of it. I think there's more to this dream, but Michael, I'll let you dive in here because already this is pretty wild and crazy.
All right,
Let's
and I'll
go.
let you ask me questions. So here's the notes. The mother-in-law is very woo. The dreamer's mother is not at all. And so the mother-in-law is a surrogate mom in the dream. And what she's actually doing is helping heal the spiritual communication barrier with her biological mom. And you cannot talk to her mom about her spiritual work because her mom is super religious. And the mother-in-law fills this role for her in waking life. And so in this dream, it's super, super good. The other thing, though, that comes up is the mother-in-law can read her mind in the dream. When I channeled on that, and I said, your mother-in-law can read your mind. And she said, I know it. So that's interesting, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to be around somebody that can do that? So go on, question, Sandy.
Alrighty. So we're talking on the phone in the ocean when a wave comes on. So what's going on there?
So the ocean is what makes it about spiritual communication. The phone is about communication. The mother being there is communication with mom and spiritual communication with mom. So she has none of it.
Behind it sinks to the bottom of the ocean. Yep, none of it. Alrighty, we got a processing center here that everything goes to. And what documents is she talking about?
Well, we can kind of ignore the documents, but what we can say is the soap factory that is at this point at the processing center. That's really good. That's a healing device. Soap is a healing device in a dream. If soap suds or touch your back in a dream, it's about healing for something in the past. Very simple thing. And so where spirituality, which is the ocean, meets the land, which is like the landlubber, like her mom, has no spiritual legs whatsoever. And now she's religious. There's a big difference between religious and spiritual. You can be religious and spiritual, but a lot of people are simply just religious. Huge distinction. Anyway, the soap factory is healing those issues where the two meet, where spirituality meets people who have no intention ever of going into the water.
That's funny. Alrighty, let's continue on because this is getting interesting. Then I see Chris, my brother-in-law, painting, and he doesn't paint, but is still a good guy. When he finished, he steps back and we all see it. But it is the most unique and incredible painting. It looks like a painting, but then it starts moving like a movie. Oh, this is cool. And it's almost like I'm inside the painting moving with it. Oh, that's crazy. It's just really soft white colored painted in an abstract moving and changing. I remember at one point being at the top of a tall ledge and I see a fire spark and then I tip over and start speeding down. Chris looks really proud of his work and I'm so happy for him too.
All right.
That's the end of the dream, Michael.
Yeah.
There you go. Good luck with that.
So, Chris painting. Paintings are to do with goals and ideals. So seeing somebody painting is about, I can see somebody developing their goals and ideals because it's not painted, it's still being painted. So I can see how people can develop themselves. The unique way that each person pursues their ideal goals. That's probably a better way to put it. So that's her gift. Her ability is to see that in everybody. But then when it's painted, she can see it alive from the inside. So it's like she can go inside somebody's gift and go, oh, okay, so I see what you're meant to be doing here, and here's how it's going to work, and here's what you need to change, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. She already does that with people. She has a course where she helps a small number of people at a time develop their gifts and really make them shine like the brightest bulb that exists on the planet. But she also gets prophecy around that, and that's what the soft white light in the dream is about. So how that works for her is she can also tell people how others are going to perceive their gift when they are using their gift on them. So extremely rounded. I can see how you're developing it. I can see the broad brush strokes and all that sort of stuff. Then I can move into the gift and I can see it from the inside and I can look around, get it all, and explain to you how that works. And then also explain to you how other people are going to receive the gift that you develop. How amazing is that?
That's really incredible. What an amazing gift. What does the fire sparks and then I tip over and start speeding down? What's that all about?
So the fire sparks are how somebody's passion is ignited for their gift and how it just takes off from that point. It's a really nice addition to the dream.
Wow, that's beautiful. What a nice gift. Interesting. All righty. Well, we are going to move on to another dream from another dreamer. This is titled Jealousy and Appreciation and is by Jane. Arthur Senna, a muscle actor like Arnold Schwarzenegger, was planning an opening at a rehabilitation center for orphans and lost kids, and he has just bought the land and built a house. Neighboring that house was another big lot. It was mostly just rubble, but in the corner, a building was started. Okay, Michael, I'm going to let you drive in.
This was an unusual start. We start straight away, it's with abilities that the dreamer has. So when I channeled on it, I was told she can help kids do what they want. This is very unusual. I was told so many good things about Jane. Normally a reading will include lots of work on this kind of nuggets. Still very good things to know about yourself, but it's normally like, here's where you're falling a little bit short, Michael. So I think, and you know it yourself and you're able to do it and you're like, okay, that's good. I'm glad to know how this works. That wasn't the case with this lady. But they were heaping praise on Jane. So she obviously does not get that in waking life. It's so rare. She can create a space that lets kids explore what they want to be. And it is a very nurturing space. Again, when I channeled, I got that she encourages them to follow their train of thought to the point of realizing its implication, whether that's good or bad. So I can now drop it instead of having this stupid idea in my head, or I have an idea and I know it's a great idea now because I've been given the space where I can think about it and talk about it. And now I know what I want to do with it. Another thing, independent, she runs many projects in her life and she can run them on a very slow burn. And that's what the mostly rubble in the corner, was about. A building has started. There's all this rubble and a building has started in the corner. And so she does things on a very slow burn to the point where people don't even notice her working on the project. That's how she put it. So it's like, I'm working on this, working on that. And she can be working on it for years and she can pause it and then she can come back to it, but she never forgets them. So really an interesting person, like straight out of the gate.
Mm-hmm. All right, there's more to this dream. He came there with a lady he promised to marry. They were not in love. It seemed like an arrangement for a goal he had set. She was jealous, especially of me, because there was another woman and she was comfortable with her. I'm walking down the street wearing a beautiful dress. I passed by the jealous one and she says that I shouldn't try so hard to walk on the catwalk. Ooh. In return, I just tell her that this is how I walk and she shouldn't have stopped to tell me that. She is obviously upset while the other one tries to calm her down. Okay, Michael, here we go. What's going on with this?
So you always look at women in a dream as, could they possibly be mom? Because 90% of the time they are. So mom suppressed the dreamer. So suppressed her femininity, her feminine side. And like I asked her about that and she said, yeah, mom's attitude was, you need to be strong. You need to be able to do what you want for yourself to the point where nobody could stop you. Now, does that sound feminine? Not at all. But you can be that way and be feminine at the same time. So mom kind of forced her to be this way and sacrifice her own femininity, which is sad. And we can even extrapolate on that because of what we see in the dream. Other women don't get Jane, just like in the dream. And like what she said to me is, I don't get recognition in life at all. I'm on my own. I don't get support. That's pretty sad. More, she said, I navigate my own space so I don't have problems, as in lack of support, envy from others, etc. She does hold herself down. She doesn't let herself shine because she already makes people uncomfortable. Now, could you imagine that? This is your normal life. So like this lady is in her 40s, probably early 40s, if that, maybe a little bit younger. But to get to this point in life and really be on your own for all of that and then still be an amazing person that helps kids. Anyway, continuing on, channeled and confirmed, people reject her because they have their own clique or group. And that's what it was. Like one person was jealous and she already had her own friend. So we know she's never been in a clique or a group. She's criticized for being herself. Like I said, other people are going to do what mom does or dad does. So here we see mom criticizing her, saying like, don't walk like that, don't do this, don't do that. In other words, don't be yourself. And she said, my husband to this day still criticizes me for being me, and people don't know how to take her. So again, it's all from the perspective of the environment that she endures, which is very, very unusual. Normally, dreams will paint an environment and say, okay, here's the environment, and now here's what you picked up and have messed up about yourself from that. There's a little bit of that in there. She holds herself down. She doesn't let herself shine. She feels like she's on her own, and so on and so on and so on. But mostly, it's just very encouraging of her.
What about the guy who came with the lady he promised to marry, but they're not in love? What is that all about?
This guy kind of acts like Superman later on in the dream, and he's a muscular guy like Arnold Schwarzenegger. So it represents one of her abilities too. She's able to stay strong. She can put herself in situations and put up with situations just for the sake of having to, which isn't very good.
An arrangement for the goal he set, which is why he did it. So he's not in love. Okay, so that explains that. Is there anything else you want to add before I continue on?
It's all part of her goals too. So, she's going to get there.
All right. I continued walking to get to the commercial area of the small town on the narrow street. Arthur Senna was driving his car, an Oldsmobile. Apparently, together with him, the two women, the one was much kinder, and myself were supposed to live together. Somehow the car almost hit a person and stopped in a funny way that could not be driven back to the lane. It slides further, and I say, "Hey, big guy, stop the car." He grabs the car by the front and stops it. Then, to turn it around, he just lifts it up like Superman and puts it in the right direction. I was happy. It was such an easy fix. Said, "We'll each see each other later," and off I go.
All right. So at the start with the narrow street and her heading off into the commercial area, life is restrictive. People around her are narrow minded. Now, again, you would normally expect, oh, that's just your view. That's not just your view. But the guides were like, no, this is what this poor woman lives in. And of course, it's talking about dad. So we said mom earlier. So she's been fortunate enough to be messed up by each parent. So from dad, she doesn't feel safe. Even my safe spaces have conflict. That's what I channeled that. It's kind of a funny way that the guides put it, but she's like, yeah, that's exactly how it is. And we see the reverse here. Well, how we can say that from the dream is like she's forced into a position where she's unable to please anybody because the car gets itself into a position that it can't get out of, caught between two things. But then she's able to, what the guide said is she can close off a situation and then just change the direction. It looks like she's able to pull off miracles and move in the right direction from rescuing a situation that couldn't go anywhere. But because all of that shows up in the dream, what I was trying to say earlier is we know that dad is the reason that she ends up in those spaces. He didn't create a safe space. There was nothing she could do to please him. And so these are skills that she's learned to navigate a life with that man.
Wow, that's crazy. Alrighty, we're going to continue and see what else is going on in her life. Alrighty, the shops were on the next level. I walked up the stairs and decided to enter the bookstore. It was such a nice place, colorful books in the windows, shelves with just the right number of books so you could feel comfortable browsing the titles. It was beautiful. Okay, Michael, I'll let you take over.
More gifts. She has a counseling gift given by the books and an intuitive gift given by the window. And she's talking about shops on the next level. So the next level is about her spiritual side and shops are about needs. So this, again, it's a very spiritual dream. When I asked her about it too, she said, I get inspiration about how to deal with things. And that's what the window part would be. But then it's not just that. She has the inspiration, but then she knows how to help people because she has this strong counseling gift.
Wow, that's beautiful. Okay, we're going to continue on. At the entry, in my wonder, I don't see the long wooden beam with a book at the upper end. I barely touched it and it fell with a bang. I am embarrassed. I don't even look at the people who are inside. I raise it up and try to put it in place. Now that I think of it, it looked like a rigid flag painted in white. I tried to put it roughly in the same place, but it just wouldn't stay put. Then I just moved it a little further, a little bit to the right, and it remained still. I walked away very proud, and I apologized for the accident several times. Just in front of the door, there was a counter. The owner of the bookstore was standing, and his male partner was resting in a wide, comfortable chair. The owner was so happy I came through the door. He seemed to know who I am, and he was almost jumping up for joy seeing me. It was curious because he didn't consider myself special, so even if I didn't understand his excitement, I was happy to be there. Okay, Michael, more details here.
Yeah, and we start at the end where she said, I don't consider myself special. Well, that's again connected to dad because we have a man in the dream. We have a wonderful man at the start and we have this man here. And he's really happy to see her. That means dad was not happy to see her when she was born or even before she was born. But here's what's interesting. We see some of the negatives that she does have. Like she gets embarrassed. And so when I was channeling on that, they told me a few things. Some are really interesting. I said, you don't allow people to surrender. And she's like, yeah, I don't. I don't take prisoners at all. And she can take people down. She has outbursts and it really bothers her afterwards. And she feels guilty about that. And then she apologizes to her kids afterwards. Not that it's her kids she takes down, but she apologizes to her kids because she doesn't like that they see that nature in her. And so we have a little bit of that in this part of the dream. But where does it all come from? It all comes from dad. And dad wasn't happy when she was born. He got drunk when he heard he had a daughter instead of a son and lost his license for 10 years. Now, when she told me that, she said, he probably hated me because he lost his license. Like, what? He already hated you. You said at the start of your sentence, before he lost his license, that he got drunk when he heard it was a girl. Like, you know, it's funny what we do for our parents. We let them away with all sorts of things. And she's doing that here too. It's not something happened to me and then. This is just the way dad was, and this is what has impacted her in her life. But this is why she's such a wonderful person. So we have a trauma that gives us a superpower. The fact that she was never considered special, never anything. She is so good with kids because she won't let anybody not feel special if they know her. Like, could you imagine how good that would be to know this woman? Anyway, it all comes from like the trauma from dad gives us the gift, the amazing gift, but it also gives us the things that we need to work on.
Wow, that's that's pretty amazing. Okay, there's more to come, Michael. Let's continue. He wants to give me something and starts to look frantically for things around the counter. Finally, he decides to give me a coin from a small leather pouch he turns upside down. Several coins are falling out, and he's choosing the biggest one for me. It was like vintage gold. Then a small light violet golden wallet. Later, I noticed it also had a golden chain to wear it on my shoulder as a bag. In the end, he's giving me an oval brownish medallion with an Eiffel Tower. In his excitement, he's showing me that I could be putting all of it in the small wallet. The three of us ladies get into the car, and Santa is driving home. I get the chance to speak to him and just mention that he could achieve his goals and not marry just by keeping his options open to a relationship that would make him happy. I mention it because he doesn't seem in love and she is terribly jealous. Alrighty, Michael.
Well, that's the end of the dream. And
I
so
think so.
the guide, the man at the entrance, who is super excited to see her, which is great, is giving her healing for the burdens in her life. So a gold chain that you're going to wear on the shoulder. Gold is about healing, putting it on the shoulder. That's where we do carry our burdens in life, is healing for that. There's lots of really good stuff in this. So basically, though, the other thing is that she sees life as a burden, but she's still happy to be alive, but life is still hard. And what she does is she helps people to stand tall and feel worthy. That's really her gift, if you were to summarize it. And the other thing that she's able to do is give blunt advice to people. But if you create the right space, blunt advice doesn't seem blunt. It just seems like the truth. You've told me the truth in such a short and concise way. I get it. And that's really a gift on its own too. So any questions for any parts of that? But it's quite remarkable, quite an unusual woman. And it's always wonderful to come across somebody and then see their dreams and see how different they really are on the inside and how amazing they are on the inside. But that's true for all of us. We all have gifts, but this lady is actually using hers. But you look at where she came from and you're like, oh my God, how can she be such a good person given what she's endured herself?
Yeah, so we've got several things in the dream that I think are interesting. Like we've got a light violet, golden wallet. So I like to point out colors. So what's going on with those?
So the golden wallet is healing for the heart. So we have issues with mom and dad. And the light violet is activating her spiritual leadership and healing at the same time.
And then it's got a brownish medallion of the Eiffel Tower. So both brownish medallion and Eiffel Tower. What's going on with them?
She can help people to stand tall. Again, a lot of the symbols in her dream are super, super positive. Like the Eiffel Tower was a monument to human engineering. The Eiffel Tower was the next thing humans made that was taller than the pyramids. You know, quite an achievement. And so really good that she's able to help people stand tall. And brown is the color of practicality. It's a brownish medallion. So it's like, this is a badge of honor that I can wear, and it's useful and practical for me to do it, or to be this way, or see myself this way, to feel worthy, to be whatever. Like there's no conceit in it, no ego in it.
Wow, that's interesting. And I like that she says to him to achieve his goals, he doesn't have to marry. So that must be the part of giving blunt advice.
Yeah, absolutely. Because the other people are in the car. I love it. She's getting them back in this little scene.
Wow, that's a very interesting dream. And I think that's all we have time for. Is there anything else you want to talk about, Michael, quickly before we go?
That is it. If you're into the channeling, dream-analysis.com/channel. That will give you all the details, including the link to book Sandy if you want to ask questions about it. We start on Sunday, and everybody who does the course learns to channel. If it is for you, you will love it.
Yep. Thank you, everybody. I hope you have a fabulous week, and I'll look forward to talking with you next week. Bye.
Bye.